How's it going, everyone? It's Justin here with the Real Keeper Home Team, and welcome back to our channel, Everything Jax Real Estate. In today's video, we're going to be doing our market update report for the Mandarin area here in Jacksonville as it pertains to January of 2024. In this video, we're going to be highlighting the changes we've seen from the end of last year to the beginning of this year, it includes amount of homes on the market, amount of homes under contract, and also what were the prices for the homes that sold and the prices for the ones that are currently in the market. But before that, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell so you get notified when we post more content like this in the future. So now we're going to go and start off checking out the pen to list ratio. So you may ask yourself, what is the pen to list ratio? Well, the pen to list ratio actually measures the amount of homes that went under contract in a given month in relation to the amount of total homes on the market in that month. And what we saw for Mandarin is we saw that there was 292 sales pending in January, with roughly 1,095 homes that were on the market in January, which also includes that 292. This left us with a 26.7% pen to list ratio. This is actually almost exactly what it was last month, however, with a lot less homes under contract. So you may ask yourself, why is it the same ratio? Well, we did have more homes go under contract, but we also had more homes hit the market. So in essence, it was a wash for the area. Now, the area is still being described as mildly active, which is a continuing theme from previous months, and probably something that we'll see continuously throughout all of these market dates as we go into 2024. When we take a closer look, though, you'll see that the homes in the $400,000 to $500,000 price range had the relatively largest number of contracts pending for sale. They also had the most homes that were on the market, so it kind of makes sense. If you have the most homes in a certain price bracket, wouldn't it surprise you to think that those are also going to be the most homes that had contracts pending on them? Now, the median list price for the area was actually higher than that, $570,000 roughly. This is almost exactly what it was last month at $569,500. For this month, it was $569,614. So in essence, the market in Mandarin's kept pretty flat when we look at December to January. It'll be great to see as we go into future videos how the market progresses for Mandarin, or if it does just stay kind of flat as far as that's concerned. Now, looking at the graph below, again, it's just going to highlight the separation of homes that are available versus homes that were under contract. And what you're going to see is that for most homes, until you get to about the $1 million price point, there is a pretty healthy amount of homes available relative to the ones that are under contract. We also see here that there's a total of just under 1,300 contracts that closed in the last 6 months, which is a sharp decline from December. And that's because of the fact that we're starting to get data from months of the year that are normally considered the slow time of the year due to seasonality trends here in Northeast Florida. And so overall, that's something that we could see still decline further in February's video, maybe even March's video. So that's something to definitely highlight. That being said, the median sold price when looking at the last 6 months was $517,000. So that'll be something good to compare to see how the last 6 months of data, what that median sold price was, compared to last month of data, what that sold price was, to see if we're seeing an increase in prices that for sales, a decrease, or if we're staying flat like we're seeing with the list price. We also saw there was a total of 398 listings that failed to sell. And failed to sell can be many different things. It could just mean that the seller took it off the market, didn't want to sell it anymore. It could mean that the seller maybe had a job relocation and isn't moving anymore. Maybe the relocation fell through. Could mean that the home didn't match the price needed to sell it. Could be that the condition didn't match the price that the seller was asking for. It could also mean that the agent, maybe didn't do as good a job, getting the home marketed for the seller as they could have. It could be a lot of different things, but at 398, that is less than in December, and so ultimately that's a good number to know, but not in the sense of anything negatively going wrong for the area. Next up, we're going to look at the days on market and median price point for the area for January. And what we saw is for the days on market for active homes that did not have contracts, the median days on market was sitting right around 56 days on the market. That's a lot less than it was in December, and a lot of that is to do with the homes that were on the market longer starting to get contracts on them, and so now they're coming off of that active information. And so therefore, days on market has definitely reduced quite a bit for the area as we go into the beginning of 2024. As mentioned, the median sold price was $517,000 for the last 6 months. However, the median days on market was 40 days on the market. So relatively speaking, 40 days on the market is a little bit high, but nothing too bad in the grand scheme of things. And it just goes to show that ultimately, if the home is priced properly, the home is selling quicker. And the days on market is less than the homes that are still on the market waiting for their contract and their next owner. When we look at the last 30 days, though, we actually see in the last 30 days for January, as you can see down here with the median sold price, we also saw that the median sold price jumped to closer to $540,000. So the prices, even though for the last 6 months, only $517, for the last 30 days, we actually have seen a jump in sold price. So even though prices are staying pretty stagnant on the active side, on the listing side, on the sell side, prices have jumped a good bit. As far as days on market, we did see that in January, the days on market actually increased from December. Something else to highlight and focus on as we go into future parts of this year. The median listed sales ratio was about the same as last month at 98.5%, which just means that for, in essence, what the seller was asking for their home, they were getting about 98.5% of that price. Does not take into account the seller gave any sort of concessions to the buyer, such as closing costs or rate buy downs. It doesn't take into account that if the seller started the price at $600 and they went down to $500 and they got a contract for $490, then again, it's $490 based off $500, not $490 based off $600. Now, those are not typically what you're going to see in this market, but that's just an example to give you, to kind of give you an idea of why the listed sales ratio is so high. In essence, it's not that buyers are always giving the sellers like what they want, it's that the seller is actually coming down to a position where the buyer is desiring the house enough. Lastly, looking at the absorption rate for the area for the last 6 months, we see there's about 3.8 months of inventory. 3.8 months is actually on the higher side. It's higher than we've seen recently. I would not expect that number to stay that high. You know, a lot of that data is going to be your October, November, December time when rates were, a bit higher. And really, the beginning of this year, we've seen a lot of interest in Mandarin so far, so that will start to change the absorption rate as we go further into the year. But it's good to highlight because at 3.8 months, it means that you really need to be competitive if you're a seller to get your home sold if you're in Mandarin. And if you're a buyer, it also means that realistically, you have more options and you have more time to find the right one. Now, lastly, we're going to look at our table here, looking at the absorption rate at different price points. Now, I love breaking this down because it really gives you an idea of at what price point you may be at, what kind of inventory levels you're looking at. What you can see here is you actually have some yellows in here, a lot of orange, not a ton of red. And that's huge because it means that at most price points, even at the lower price point, like under $200,000, you still have a good amount of time to make a decision. And ultimately, you have less competition at those price points, which is why the absorption rate is what it's at and why you're seeing these oranges and yellows. So ultimately, what it means is if you're in the red and you're looking to sell and you're in that price point that's in the red, you're in a really great position. And ultimately, you should have plenty of interest in your home because there's a lot of buyers looking at those price points. But if you're in the orange, or even better yet, in the yellow, those are areas where you're going to have to really, if you're a seller, be aggressive on your price, and you have to be aggressive with working with a buyer to get your home under contract, because you're going to have more competition. There's less buyers potentially looking in those price points. Now, if you're a buyer, you're going to love seeing these oranges. You're going to love seeing the yellows because it means that you should have a little more negotiating power and a little more options at your disposal. So definitely something to key into as we go further into 2024. Now, if you liked this video, please shoot us a like on YouTube on this. Also, please subscribe to our channel and ring that bell so you're notified to post more content like this as we continue to build this channel for you, our audience, to help keep you up to date on what's going on here in Northeast Florida, specifically Jacksonville area. Also, if you have any questions as far as anything we went over in this video, or any questions as far as Mandarin is concerned for you and your family, in the description below in this video is a link to my calendar. Feel free to schedule time on my calendar for us to meet face-to-face, through Zoom, or even just a phone call to help answer any questions you may have, as well as go over any neighborhoods you and your family may be interested in, or any builders you and your family may be interested in as you potentially make your move here to the Northeast Florida area, or if you're thinking about moving within the area as well. So until next time, I'll see you guys again on the next video.